That concludes questions for oral answer. Would some honourable member care to move that the House take notes of miscellaneous business? The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, well, the budget debate began with the best speech I think I've heard our Prime Minister make. It was a fantastic speech, and it set the scene for what was an amazing budget debate on behalf of the members on this side of the House. And it concluded yesterday with an outstanding speech from the Minister of Finance, laying out quite clearly, I think, for anyone listening, the difference between this side of the House, the government benches, and what is that rabble on the other side of the House. Because the reality was, as both the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance have said, Labor has nothing to say. They sat in the House yesterday with their heads down, as they've sat through the budget debate, because they have nothing to say. And the member over there that was so done by Maggie Barry today, I mean, he was really outdone by Maggie Barry today, says, talk about the surplus. Well, in fact, this government showed that it was more interested in supporting vulnerable New Zealanders than it was on meeting surplus, because we probably could have done it if we had done what the party over on the other side of the House is talking about, which is cutting services. We probably could have done it. But this government showed it really cares about vulnerable families and is prepared to put its money where its mouth is. And that's what, indeed, the last two budgets that this government has produced in this House has done. And if you come back to what the Minister of Finance said yesterday about Labor having nothing to say, as they sat there in the House, just a few of them actually, there was no leadership. Well, they're probably all out fighting over who is actually the real leader over there. There's so many factions out there, and there's so many past leaders, and there's so many wannabe leaders, and there's so many failed leaders on the other side of the House that there was no one in the House to actually even lead the voting. They ended up voting against their own leader's motion of no confidence. That was so embarrassing for the opposition. Absolutely no direction, as against this side of the House, which is focused, which is confident, which is out there delivering on the things that actually matter to New Zealanders. We are focused on those things like transport, an economy that's providing jobs, increase in wages, all of those things, and at the same time confident enough to stand in this House and deliver a budget that for the first time in 43 years increased the income of the lowest family income people in New Zealand. The 43 years those beneficiaries have waited for a government to have the courage to do that over and above the CPI, and in the very best of economic times. I remember Labor, when they were in government, talking about the very best of economic times. Even then, they did not do anything for those very low-income families. They did not help them whatsoever. They heard their cries and they didn't help them. And this government had the courage to do that because we know that the welfare reforms that we put in place are supporting those families into work in record numbers. Solo parents reliant on a benefit under this government are at the lowest level they've been since 1988. And that's what gives this government the courage to say, yes, we will increase the benefits by $25 a week. Yes, we will support those low-income working families, and they had nothing to say because they know it's the right thing to do. They never believed for a minute that a national government would do it, and we did, because we are serious about helping our most vulnerable families. This government has done over a number of budgets, has put the money into supporting those families, but we want to know that our money is making a difference because taxpayers work hard for that money. They pay it out of their salaries every week, and they want to know that the government is using it wisely. So yes, this government makes no apologies for the fact we are saying to all those that provide social services, we want to make sure that every single dollar, whether it's from education, from health, makes a difference to New Zealanders' lives.